Very good evening. This is the PNGTV Live News Bulletin. I'm Belinda Cora. Following the attack on Post Courier's senior reporter Frankie Kapin last week Friday, the matter finally went to court today. The case was presided over by Lae District Court Magistrate Tera Dawai. The four men appeared today at the Lae District Court for assaulting a journalist last week Friday. The four, Benny Raymond, 38, Tinke Dobemuk, 30, Alex John, 37, and Stephen Voting, 32, all from Kabum village in Morobe province, admitted to assaulting the journalist. They were all charged with assault. However, the case was adjourned to this Friday, awaiting medical reports from the reporter who was assaulted. Meanwhile, the United Nations system in Papua New Guinea is concerned by the alleged attack on journalists in Lae and have called on authorities to undertake prompt and effective investigations into the matter. It believes that a free, uncensored and unhindered media is the cornerstone of a democratic society, and it stands against violence against the media in any form. It goes on to say that the media should be able to operate without fear or favor and enjoy media freedom as a basic human right as enshrined in the Constitution of Papua New Guinea and the International Human Rights Conventions, which PNG has ratified. As an important enabler for civic society and participation and empowerment, the UN says the media plays a central role in advancing development and human rights. The National Capital District's Metropolitan Superintendent wants to see more police personnel out in public areas to deter potential criminal activities. Chief Superintendent Pero Endrano says the city continues to face crimes such as carjacking and other petty crimes even within the vicinity of police stations. Gregory Avira with this report.
Police in the city issued a warning to motorists last week to be cautious due to the increase in reported cases of carjacking. The city currently faces an average of 3 carjackings on a daily basis. This is a concern by the city's police boss, who says police should be taking a more proactive approach to preventing such incidents. His solution is to have police personnel more visible and in more public areas.
We need to do a lot. We are to change the public perception. It's been that bad, so we need to do a lot. So we have embarked on many activities, and one of them is we do patrols to the community and talk to them. Like tomorrow we'll be doing at Geru. We did last week at Morata, and we go around the city to do that, to get closer to the people. At the same time, most importantly, we need to be professional. The way we dress, the way we talk to the people, the way we attend to their reported crimes can help them regain the trust on police again. And that is what we want to do.
Drano adds that police should not be in their respective stations and blaming lack of resources for not doing the duty. Since taking up the role of the Metropolitan Superintendent last November, Drano has aimed to improve police discipline in the city and return public confidence to the force. This has seen him introducing monthly parades and visits to all stations under his command.
Been successful. The number of men and the interest to show that they are changing the attitude to be professional again is very encouraging to the management.
Gregory Avira, PNG TV Live.
Meanwhile, the Metsup confirmed today that the suspect who was involved in the shooting at the Boroko FoodWorld last week and charged last week Friday for willful murder has been further charged with 2 counts of attempted murder yesterday. The reintroduced standard-based curriculum with Outcomebased for Papua New Guinea, curriculum expert and founder of publisher Bilum Books Phonics, Ray O'Farrell, says the old outcome-based curriculum works best in countries where there are small class sizes. Quintin Anaime reports.
The outcome-based curriculum was introduced by the education system in 1994. The Department of Education phased out the curriculum last year, starting at the elementary level. With the free education policy, the number of students enrolling in public schools has increased over the years. O'Farrell tells PNGTV Live that the outcome-based curriculum cannot work in schools where the teacher-to-student ratio is high.
I think outcomes-based curriculum works best in countries where there are small class sizes, where the schools are very well resourced with libraries and internet, where the teachers are very, very well trained, and where you have small class sizes. It didn't work in Papua New Guinea.
O'Farrell explains if children understand the sounds that letters make and learn a basic vocabulary of 300 words, then they can read and write at the basic level. O'Farrell explains the outcome-based syllabus documents were very general and hard for teachers to understand.
It asked a lot of teachers, a lot of preparation time. The new standards-based syllabus is much more specific. In the new elementary standards-based English syllabus, it sets out clearly the sounds that must be taught in elementary prep, the sounds that must be taught in elementary 1, and the sounds that must be taught in elementary 2.
Bilum Books Phonics has been publishing and facilitating trainings for teachers in the country for 2 years now. The publisher also assists the government with phonics teaching and learning materials. It also facilitates training for elementary school teachers on how to use these materials under the new standard-based curriculum. Quintina Naime, PNGTV Live.
Meantime, schools throughout the country have raised concerns about the annual tuition fee-free or TFF funding not being sufficient for the whole year. With the first quarter of the TFF subsidy paid to schools 2 weeks ago, some schools are yet to receive their funds, while many others have not received the full amount. Quentin Anaime with this report.
The Department of Education received 100 million kina 2 weeks ago, which is being paid into bank accounts for the schools. The TFF comprises of 40% for administration purposes, 30% for infrastructure, and 30% for teaching and learning materials. PNGTV Live visited Badihagwa Secondary School in the nation's capital and found its subsidy has been decreasing every year and not sufficient to sustain the school for the entire year. This is the same case for schools including Hagita Secondary in Milne Bay Province, Manus Secondary, Bugandi Secondary in Morobe, and Iatapal Primary School in East New Britain.
But we receive according to the money flow. Sometimes we receive over 100,000, sometimes 150,000, sometimes 200,000. So,
Badihagwa School Principal Marubala confirms the school received 200,000 kina for the first quarter payment, which he says is not sufficient with a massive enrollment of over 2,000 students due to the free education policy. Bala tells PNGTV Live most of the TFF funding goes towards paying for bills, including water and electricity, and stationery for the students, but not enough for infrastructure.
I like the idea where the government break down elementary, primary, secondary, where parents pay their component, and then government pay its component. That was good. In the event that the government was not providing its component, we sustain the school with the parent component.
Meantime, schools in New Island are yet to receive their TFF payments. Quintina Naime, PNGTV Live.
You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. More after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. 2 Motuan landowner groups finally registered their incorporated land groups today at the Department of Lands and Physical Planning. The groups, who come under the Arutu clan, joined Minister Justin Kachinko and senior lands personnel to witness the registration, which has taken over 4 decades to resolve. Kaligantanda with this report.
It is about 46 years now that the Arutu clan members have experienced and encountered obstacles throughout the process of attaining our registered title today.
After 45 years, the landowner groups from Baruni and Tatana villages finally saw the issuance of customary land registration titles to the Arutu clan. Chairman of the R2 LLG Tatana, Igo Oala, gave a brief history of the court battles which started in 1972 over the R2 clan lands in the two villages. Much of the disputes were with the Tubumaga clan, who took the matter before the local court in 1984 and 1986. 2005 saw notable customary land rights figure Madaha Resana represent the Tubumaga clan to have the matter reheard, but the decision was the same 2 years later in 2007. Resena appealed to the Provincial Land Court, who subsequently dismissed the appeal in 2009. Even still, the seashore customary boundaries were still being disputed, and this was finally put to rest last year in favor of the Arotu clan by His Worship Gary Unjo of the local land court on October 27th.
So as you can see, Minister, it is not an easy road to come to this far today, to officially receive the Arutu clan customary land register title from the state. Many of our leaders and elders have passed away during our struggles and court battles, and unfortunately cannot be here with us today.
Minister Thachenko was pleased to see the appropriate action being taken by his staff that saw titles finally being awarded to the correct clans. The minister acknowledged the overwhelming questions raised in Parliament and by the public and even by other clan members about the verification of the correct landowners.
And the registration of ILGs is a major issue that we are now trying to get right by properly and clearly identifying the correct landowners, the correct clans.
Thachenko added that he and his secretary, Oswald Tolopa, have spent the last 6 months cleaning up the mess in the department and ensuring the right systems and processes are in place. Also present at the signing were Customary Lease Director and Chairman of SABLs, Andy Malo, Motu Koita Assembly Chairman and Deputy Governor for Central, Opao Udia, and Chairman of Arutu ILG Baruni, John Hariki. Kalagantanda, PNGTV Live.
Delegates traveling into the country for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum Leaders Summit in November this year and lead-up meetings throughout the year will be issued electronic special exemption designated events visas. The Immigration and Citizenship Authority has come up with this initiative to enable the processing of a large number of applicants at one time. Quentin Anaime with this report.
The electronic special exemption designated events visas process allows for processing of over 100 applications in a few minutes. Chief Migration Officer Solomon Kentha highlights through this process the large number of APEC delegates will not need to apply for a visa at PNG mission offices or embassies. Kentha says this process ensures every person that comes in for the APEC meeting is properly checked and screened.
So we work very closely with the APEC authority to do those checks for us. So the process that APEC delegation would apply for a visa is that they send all their details to the APEC authority, and the APEC authority will vet the information that they get against all the necessary checks, and including security checks as well, and then they will send those details to us.
All information from the special exemption designated events visa is uploaded in the system that will automatically send the visa approval to each applicant. Immigration is now working with the National Airport Corporation to ensure there is enough space to cater for a large number of passengers traveling in at one time. The first APEC lead-up event is the APEC Senior Official Meeting scheduled from the 24th of February to the 9th of March. Quintina Naime, PNGTV Live.
Providing ordinary Papua New Guineans with power is something PNG POWER Limited is now focused on achieving in the next couple of months. Its new head, Acting Managing Director Caroline Blacklock, in an exclusive interview with PNGTV Live, says citizens are even risking their lives to have electricity flow into their communities, and this should not be the case.
They think of illegal connections.
Ms. Blacklock is adamant that PNG Power Limited can do more about the current situation of reliability and access, especially for communities who are still waiting for power. She says even illegal connections are indications that people have a high demand for this service.
I think of that as demand. People may not want to pay for electricity, but they want electricity. So they'll even risk their lives to get electricity. Illegal connections, right? So I think if you're running a business like PNG Power and you're thinking about what does the future look like, how do you take the bold move and go invest because you know that demand is there?
Electricity, health and education need to complement each other, even in the rural areas, with the help of districts and outsiders.
But electrification has been left as the responsibility of PNG Power, and quite frankly, we haven't done enough. So the leaders are encouraging us and saying, we'll support you, we'll help fund you through the DDAs, through PSIP.
A typical partnership that can do wonders for our people is the current work in progress between PPL, East Sepik Province and the New Zealand government.
50 million New Zealand dollars being spent here by New Zealand taxpayers as a gift to Papua New Guinea to experiment with off-grid. So this is not grid intensification or extension. This is not Port Moresby type situations. This is actually in rural areas that you have to fly into, there's no way else in. But we've got a district office, a school and a hospital and maybe 200 or 300 households in that community. These are completely off-grid solutions that New Zealand has gone to tender for, working with PNG Power, have selected a preferred tenderer. We're now in the stages of signing the agreements with the DDAs.
This example of providing power in some of PNG's rugged terrains will move PNG forward and lift PNG Power's ability to provide affordable electricity by allowing districts to help subsidize tariffs like the 5 kina per kilowatt.
So if the government isn't there and able to provide the money, at least we have some donors who are willing to experiment. And then PNG Power does the quality control and PNG Power does the ongoing maintenance, of which that cost is subsidised by the DDA.
She says electricity is the catalyst for all other services as well, and she is ready to look into ensuring these partnerships benefit our people. You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. More after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. If PNG Power is to increase its tariffs, which will eventually increase the cost of power for consumers, it must first improve its reliability. That's the focus of the new Acting Managing Director, Carolyn Blacklock.
We would be looking at what is the frequency of outage.
Commencing her role on the 16th of January, Ms. Blacklock is keen to improve PNG Power and its performance in the next couple of months.
I don't think the current government is supportive of that. I think the current government want PNG Power to first go and have a look in our own cupboard and make sure that we're as an efficient run business as possible before we impose our cost line onto the general public. I'm for that type of thinking.
She wants PNG to know that despite past experiences in the deliverance of power to many parts of the country, change is imminent, and this has to be made known to staff internally as well. She says PNG Power staff, she believes, read more and believe what the media says about themselves rather than appreciating what they can do to bring change internally.
That is an indictment on the way in which we've managed our people, that they don't necessarily trust what we tell them. But it means that I need to use the external media to talk even to our own people, not just to the external audience. The reason, I think I'm also a bit of a novelty, right? I'm a good woman, I'm an expatriate, but somehow I'm connected to PNG. So there's kind of a novelty thing, curiosity maybe. But then, this is this is enormous responsibility. So in talking to people, you also, as a human, you get to check in with what you're thinking.
Ms. Blacklock will be utilizing the media to again communicate to outside citizens and staff of PNG Power Limited to ensure they know where they are headed and how to improve its reliability. And to some sporting news now, the Brisbane Broncos have named their full-strength 20-man squad to take on our very own SP PNG Hunters this Saturday at the Oil Search National Football Stadium. Quintin Anaime with this report.
The first 13 consist of the team's big-name stars, including Sam Thaiday, Josh Maguire, Cody Nikorima, Todd Murphy, James Roberts and Matt Gillett, just to name a few. The Brisbane Broncos will be captained by Alex Glenn, while Anthony Milford, Corbin Sims and Tevita Pangai have been named on the bench. The Brisbane Broncos are expected to arrive in Port Moresby tomorrow for their first trial match before the start of the NRL's 2018 season. Both teams will be looking to test out their new recruits and also try out some new combinations towards the start of the season. The match kicks off at 3:30 p.m. in front of what is expected to be a sold-out crowd of rugby league supporters and Broncos fans. Quintin Anaime, PNGTV Live.
And boxers from Team PNG to this year's Commonwealth Games will be amongst boxers taking part in the Kokoda Challenge Fight Night, set to be staged on the 10th of March this year. The fight night will feature the country's top male and female boxers going up against champion boxers from New South Wales and the Fiji Amateur Boxing Association. Gregory Avira with this report.
Prior to the main fight night in March, PNG Boxing Union will be hosting 2 inter-club competitions on the 28th of February and March 7th. This will feature boxers from associations in NCD, Central, Manus, Bougainville and other provinces. The Boxing Union says it also plans on bringing in winners from the recent PNG Games to take part as well.
You'll see the New South Wales state team, which will have about 3 or 4 Australian champions in the side. So the Fiji team, that will be 4 of them. It will be comprised of their champions for their Commonwealth Games team. So it's going to be, like real quality boxing.
With the Commonwealth Games coming up, Team PNG boxers are currently undergoing training in the Philippines. The group includes gold medal winning fighters from the 2015 Pacific Games. The Boxing Union president says the Kokoda Challenge will add to the training they are currently undergoing.
It's one of our tournaments that we program for our Commonwealth Games boxers before the main event in Gold Coast in April.
All 3 fight nights will be staged at the Lamana Hotel with tickets now on sale.
Wednesday fight nights, it'll be gate sale, so it makes it easier. Then people can just come at the gate and pay 25 kina to come watch the interclub competition. But for the actual main event on Saturday, the 10th of March, we have pre-sold tickets at the hotel's reception. So it's 300 kina per person, or if you want a table of 5, which is including 3-course dinner, it's 3,000 kina altogether, yeah.
Gregory Avira, PNG TV Live.
And taking a look at the weather now where you are, Port Moresby and Lae cloudy, Darrow fine, Mount Hagen fine, but expecting morning fog tomorrow in the next 24 hours. Alotau, Poponeta, Wewak and Medang expecting showers in the next couple of days. Showers are also expected in Kokopo, Buka, Kimbe, Vanimo, Medang, Manus and Goroka. That's the PNGTV Live News Bulletin for this evening. Up next, the business factor with Festus Maiganap. Pleasant viewing.